Hello everyone, Suresh KP from myinvestmentideas.com. Today we are going to discuss about the new fund offer from Union Mutual Fund, which is Union Hybrid Equity Fund. Before we get into the NFO information, let us talk about what are these exactly hybrid funds are. Hybrid funds are also called balanced mutual fund that invest in equity and debt related instruments. So there are further sub-classifications, but the two major ones are aggressive hybrid funds and conservative hybrid funds. Now, if you see aggressive hybrid funds generally invest 65% to 80% of their portfolio in equity and balance in debt instruments. Since they invest majorly in equity, these are for high risk investors. Now, the second classification of these hybrid funds are conservative funds, which generally invest major portion, say 75%, in debt instruments and balance in equity. Since these funds invest majorly in debt, they are for your medium to low risk investors. Now, Union Hybrid Fund is invest 65% to 80% in equity, hence it is classified as an aggressive hybrid mutual fund scheme. Now, let us get into the NFO information. Scheme opens on 27th November, closes on 11th December. It's going to reopen again for further continuous purchase and sale of from 28th December. The minimum lump sum investment is 5,000 rupees. And if we see the SIP, generally all SIPs comes between rupees 500 to 1,000. But this SIP, we need to invest 2,000 rupees per month. And if you want to, there's no entry load. If you want to exit within 1 year, then you need to pay 1% as a exit load. And the total expense ratio is 2.25%. And the risk category is moderate high risk. Let us talk about the allocation pattern of this hybrid equity fund. It invests 65% to 80% in equity and related instruments. The risk profile is high. It invests 20 to 35% in debt and money market instruments, and the risk profile is low to medium. It also invests 0% to 10% in REITs and INVITs. Generally, the risk profile is medium to high. Now let us talk about some of the reasons why one can invest in such hybrid mutual funds. This fund is an aggressive hybrid fund that invests 65% to 80% in equity and balance in debt instruments. So while equity provides you growth, the debt component provides stable income. Now these funds generally invest in debt component too, so which are less volatile compared to equity funds. These hybrid funds provide automatic portfolio rebalancing, which is beneficial especially during volatile stock markets. Now let us talk about some of the risk factors in this NFO. This fund invests in debt component, but it is limited to only 20 to 35%. So it's these aggressive funds generally have a higher equity component, which are generally termed as high risk. This fund invests in debt instruments where one has to bear interest rate risk, credit risk, liquidity risk, and default risk. This fund also invests in derivatives, REITs, and INVITs, which are generally high risk. So if you are planning to invest in this fund, then you can refer the complete risk factors in the NFO prospectus. Let's talk about the performance of existing aggressive hybrid funds. If you see, we have given 6 months, 1 year, 3 year, and 5 years performance. And if you see quant absolute fund, don't go with these numbers. 6 months it shows 35.7%. Maybe it's abnormal, but otherwise one can safely assume say 8 to 12% annualized returns if one invested for a medium to long term. Now let us talk about should you really invest in this NFO. Union Hybrid Equity Fund, an aggressive hybrid fund that invests 65% to 80% in equity and balance in debt instruments. One should always, generally I keep saying, one should always allocate some portion of their portfolio in hybrid funds. Especially these will be useful to get stable returns, especially when stock markets are volatile. Now this fund doesn't have any, it's new and doesn't have any past history. So if you want to still go and test with the new hybrid funds, then you can invest. Otherwise, you can look for some of the top performing aggressive hybrid funds, which is already existing and have already proven the performance in various market cycles. If you have any queries, you can reach out to me, Suresh at myinvestmentideas.com. Thank you.